Hello there, and welcome to Podcasting for Spiritual Women. I'm your host, Kim Parkinson, and this week's episode started as a conversation about crafting a powerful speaker one sheet, but quickly blossomed into something a little bit deeper. A conversation, a chat about not just the visibility but also sustainability and stepping into your next level as a woman entrepreneur. Mary Ellen Lundy of An Eco Organized Approach is joining me to explore what it really means to share your message, not just as a guest or as a speaker, but as a change maker using her voice for impact. We are going to be talking about turning your big ideas into a TV show or a podcast or a YouTube channel and into the next tangible steps, how to position yourself for meaningful opportunities and clarifying your message and how that works with your one sheet, as well as the future goals of yourself and your business so you can get booked and grow your reach. If you've ever felt called to speak, teach, or just be seen in a bigger way, then I hope this episode really lights that fire under you. So here we go. Welcome, everyone. It's Kim Parkinson here from Podcasting for Spiritual Women, and I have Mary Ellen Lundy here. She is the founder and organization pro at An Eco Organized Approach. Having held a previous career in special education, Mary Ellen is uniquely equipped to support her clients no matter their mindset or lifestyle. She is passionate about creating organizational solutions that are sustainable for the long haul, giving back to the local community and reducing the waste that ends up in our landfills. When she's not organizing, Mary Ellen enjoys spending time with her family right here in Massachusetts, just a couple towns away from me.
Yes, very close.
I love it. I love it. All right. So I have a bunch of questions. As I mentioned before, I have a bunch of questions and information to pass on to you. I see you have a notebook. So perfect. Love it. So, all right. First, we're off here. I know that you're local, right?
Yes.
This is how we met. We met through a Polka Dots meeting, and you did an amazing speech. You're a speaker as well, so you do that. Excellent. I just want to know what your goal is because you're local and because you help people that are local. What is your goal for podcasting in a worldwide space?
To take over the world, Kim, is really what I want to do. I want to do so many things, which is why that one sheet has so much, Kim. But, long term is, I really want a TV show really all about the business and how, when you change your mindset and you think of your stuff, whatever that is, whether it's antiques or, towels, whatever is important to you, tea sets, whatever, rethinking your stuff and how it can actually be helpful to other people, right? Because when that happens, Kim, so much beauty unfolds. It's beautiful for an eco-organized approach. It's beautiful for the people receiving and needing the items. And it's also so beautiful for the giver, right? It makes them feel so good. And it's a different feeling, Kim. And there's nothing wrong with doing larger donations to Savers of Salvation Army or Vietnam Veterans of America. Whatever you do, that's wonderful. But this is so different because it is so hyper local. But I want to spread not only the concept of this business, but really get people to feel it, that, organization really is a form of self-care, right? Because it saves us so much time, so much money. And I think all of us busy moms need more of all of those things. Things aren't a struggle, Kim, in my house when we need to find something. Unless my husband needs to find it, but that's a whole different podcast and category. So that doesn't count.
Yep, I hear that one. Yep.
Right. We've been in our house for 17 years. He knows where the scissors are, but that's, again, different. But I really want to do so many things. I want to do a lot of speaking engagements. I want a TV show. I'm writing a book. I want virtual organizing to take off even more than it already has for the business. So lots of things, Kim.
I love that. I love that. And actually, now that I have a little bit more of that knowledge, I'm going to actually pivot just a teensy bit here because I owned a brick and mortar craft store from 2012 to 2017. During that time, I actually had my own TV show. It was a local cable access TV show.
Hmm.
Are thrilled to have people come and say to them, "Can I do a spot on your show or a spot on your program? Can I think you could 100% get started with your TV show step in by
Yes.
just reaching out to your local cable access program that they have there."
We do, and I've been on it. I've been a guest on multiple locals. And of course, the first time I was on it, I was offered a job, but it wasn't like, it wasn't the right time for me because I was trying to take off with the business, not other aspects of that. But I think that is a good suggestion. And like, this is the problem, Kim. It's like, it's so hard to concentrate on just one thing because I have so many things going on, with speaking engagements and podcasts and actually running the business. And it's just, it's like you're just one person. So it's just so overwhelming,
Oh,
you know.
definitely. Yeah, I 100%. As a business owner now, and even back then, at that time, running a brick and mortar business, I was probably working like 60, 70 hours a week, you know,
You were.
all ordering and things like that. And I would go in on my day off and we would do like 3 or 4 hours of recording a couple of
Mhm.
episodes. And the beautiful thing is I committed to just like in all, I think there ended up only being 8 to 10 episodes in total over a couple of years. So it
Huh.
wasn't something that was like I had to do it every week or every
Yes.
month or anything. It was kind of like they needed somebody in a time slot. And I was like, I'm here for that time slot. Come on in, let's record.
Right.
And
'Cause
so
were you live, Kim?
I was not live.
Oh, okay.
No, it was recorded. Yeah, it was recorded. And on top of that, one of the things that I mentioned is that I was an executive producer of that TV show. So what a great like
It's
extra boost for,
100%. Yes. Because, right,
yes.
knowledge is power of knowing
Mhm.
how things get done, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
I am, I'm not a perfectionist for clients. I'm more realistic of whatever their life happens to be. And I'm not perfectionist in my own home because I have two dogs, a mother, and three children and a husband. But in my life and my business, it is so important to show the very best,
Yeah.
and it's such a hard balance sometime, which is also why, Kim, I've shown people on social media my own house, my own drawers, my linen closet, because like this is real,
Yeah. No, I
right?
totally get that. Yeah, we all want to be organized. We all want to have that, but there is always going to be that clutter. I just got home from a family vacation on Sunday, and man, outside of this office, the clutter in my house is atrocious because it's a mess, right? All it takes is like four luggage to be unpacked and laundry. Yeah, everything. So you
And I
get it. I
get
get
it.
it.
I get it. We have been home for, like I told you, like 3 days and then gone for 3 or 4 days somewhere and then come home. And, because when someone asks me and my three children to go somewhere, I'm there.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
have to ask me twice.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so other than the avenue of maybe going into requesting about the TV show, and don't just stick to your local town. So my TV show was in Whitman, Massachusetts, the home of the chocolate chip cookie, by the way. And every time they see me at an event, because I live only a couple towns over from that now, whenever they see me at an event, they're always like, "Kim, can you please just come back and do an episode?"
Oh,
So
oh,
they are looking for people. And I'm
right,
not even in the crafting space anymore. I'm always like, dude, I'm like doing podcasting.
right. Oh gosh. Oh, that's a one. No, it is a good suggestion, and it's definitely something I'm going to think of. I have a guest spot in a few weeks at my local media station, so I think I will chat them up again about it.
Yeah, propose to them that maybe you could do maybe even a short, like little series. So, one of the things I actually had on here was I wanted to know why you didn't have your own podcast. But now I'm thinking maybe you could do exactly what I had a thought of for your podcast for that.
Right.
So, it's one or the other. You know what I mean? Like it's just really getting your voice out there and showing your authority. So,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah.
Because I have both and I'm ready.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So let me go back to my notes here because I want to know who are you targeting when you are looking for a podcast to guest on?
Anyone that will have me, is that an option?
All right. So here's the thing. I think you've probably heard this, and maybe you haven't, but maybe you've heard. If you are talking to everyone, you're talking to no one.
One. Right.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna suggest one that based on an interview that I listened to previous to this, you're
Yeah.
speaking to women, mothers probably.
Oh, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So you've already nailed it down
Right.
to like a whole population,
Okay.
or you've gotten rid of a whole population.
Yes. I mean, I think, I've been hired by a handful of men, and only a handful of men follow me,
Yeah.
but absolutely women. Yes. It's really about recycling.
Mhm.
It's about organizing and really, obviously, I think organizing is fun, but more women's topics of
Yeah.
like, that organization is self-care. So yes, women. See, I did
Yeah.
know the answer to that. It just came out wrong. Sorry, Kim.
That's okay. No, 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 not at all. That's fine.
Oh,
So, okay,
yes.
so you've got women, and I'm assuming right now, maybe not, but I'm assuming right now, mothers, or are you looking for like older women, like our, well, I'm going to say like ourselves, like myself. How's
I,
that?
so I really do. It's really like probably 30 and up, but I do,
Yeah,
we really do a lot of like 55 plus moves. So people looking to downsize, we do estates, we do businesses. So I do a lot of women's businesses, that sort of thing. Yeah.
perfect.
Women.
So I want you to write those down because you just told me like a couple of different people, right? So you have moms over 30, then you have empty nesters 55 plus, right? Or
Right.
hopefully empty nesters. My kids still live at home, but
Okay.
and then you also have women business owners. You
Okay.
actually have three different sets there. So
Okay.
what I'm going to suggest is that you actually have three different one sheets.
I was thinking, and I thought that the whole time. I just, like I love the one sheet. I think it's really good, but it is super broad as
Mhm.
well, you
Yeah.
know. Okay, so you think that needs to get broken down.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you have on your one sheet here that you have sample questions and then you also have suggested topics. But to me, as a podcaster, those are the same things. I don't really need both of those. So you have both those sections,
Okay.
remove one section
Okay.
completely. And
Yep.
in that section, you can, or one, either section, condense it to just 3 to 5 questions or 3 to 5 topics, however it is
Okay.
and specific for the person that you're handing it to. So you have the three different choices here, right?
Yeah.
You have the 30, you have the 55, and then you have the business owner. And they could overlap, but don't worry about that.
Got
Just
it.
and 3 to 5 specific questions for their
Yeah.
niche.
Okay.
And then in the other side, I want you to tell them the value you will bring to their audience. Because let's face it, if you are a podcast guest, unless you're doing a coaching episode like this, where I'm kind of like also maintaining my authority because I'm giving you information, right? If you are a podcast guest and you're talking about your business, you are really, it's an advertisement for you. So
Okay.
you need to make sure that the podcast host understands that this is a value to their listeners.
Okay.
Because otherwise, what they say is that podcast guesting is to grow your audience. But as a podcast host, having a guest on doesn't always grow your audience. And that's also because people don't advertise it. Like a guest, if you as a guest, and I know you've been on a couple because I've listened to one and then I've like kind of done some searching on Apple for you too. And if you are a guest, my huge ask would always be advertise that you've been on that podcast a lot on your socials
Okay.
because people are going to look at that and you're going to float to the top because they're going to say, "Holy moly, she did a lot of advertising on each of these episodes." And
Yes.
so that is very valuable to them. You
Okay.
want to make sure that you're valuable. And also tell them what the value is to their audience. So you want to tell them what unique perspectives that you might have or stories that you might be talking about that would be very specific to their audience. And then any kind of specific insights to their. So if you're talking to a business owner and maybe they're, a women business owner, and it might be something along the lines of how to organize all of your holiday window decorations, right? Oh my gosh, that was all over the place all the time at my store,
Okay.
all over the place.
Right. Right.
In a closet, my sister tried to put a little tag on it or something, but then we'd find something and it would just get stuffed into a different box, you know,
Absolutely.
but very specific, like holiday decorations, organization. This is what we help with, or maybe like what to do with your inventory that is, how can we help you organize that inventory that's out of date or old? Like what do you do with all those old calendars? Like maybe
Mm,
you can help with that, things like that, right?
I like that. Yeah.
And then why would their audience find you engaging? Why would you be helpful to their audience? So are they listen to their episodes, their podcast? Are they speaking to their customers? And if that's the case, even though you're helping them with maybe their holiday decorations,
Mhm.
can you twist that to help with the personal holiday decorations in their house?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you could. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure you
Oh,
could. Yeah.
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
there's no difference, Kim. There's no difference between organizing a business and organizing a home.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
really you're just grouping like items. It doesn't matter if it's promotion, it could be promotional items for their business. It could be samples of granite for their business, or it could be whatever, your outdoor seasonal decorations,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't-
And space matters too, right? So it could be small spaces, big spaces. Like at my house, I have a whole garage I can stick stuff into, right?
yeah, right.
But in the store, I had a small, very long, but small closet.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
So talking about space,
Okay.
and maybe twisting it to be like, yeah, you might have a lot of space in your house, but here's the space in your business, or vice versa. Some
Yes.
people have
Okay.
bigger space.
Right.
But
Okay.
again, just kind of like giving them the value of one, how you can help them, but also two, how you can help their listeners. That's actually
Okay.
very important.
Okay.
Okay. And I would put those value ideas right on your one sheet.
Okay.
So you have a section there that is pink with white lettering.
Yes.
First, I would suggest to just make that black lettering. It was very hard for me to read.
Okay.
So, yeah. And that is the area I would just put like whatever your value is, what value
Right.
you bring to them
Okay.
and to their listeners.
Got it.
Yeah. And then another suggestion, you have an amazing media kit on your website. I loved it. I
Thank
absolutely
you.
love it.
Oh, thank you.
So usually if I get a one sheet for a client or myself, I
Yes.
will sometimes just scrub the image of you off of your one sheet, but you
Yeah.
have that blue light behind you. And so that would be kind of wonky.
Oh,
And
take it from the one sheet.
sometimes I take it from the one sheet. Yeah. Because
Oh,
I was going to mention you have that beautiful media kit on your website, but it doesn't say that on your one sheet.
oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it easy for them. Be like, find the links and my headshots at this, and put the website right there.
Okay. So literally just find the link.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't even have to make it very big. You can even put it at the bottom, like at
Okay.
the very bottom of the one sheet, and just be like, find downloadable JPEGs and more links at this site.
Okay. That's an awesome suggestion.
I loved that idea.
Oh,
So,
yes, that's a great suggestion, Kim. Thank you.
sure. Do you have any questions so far about what we've talked about?
They're sort of things that I think I knew, but having them validated, from an expert, I think is really helpful because this is also new for me. I just want to make sure that, you had suggested the three, the 3 1 sheets. I just want to make sure that I'm not limiting that, because I still want to make sure that they go to organizing people as well. So I guess I'm just curious of how we work in like the kind of self-care aspect and the recycling aspect.
Yeah, so that could be a section. So I know you have a big section with your bio. Let's shore that up just a little bit and have it on just one side or one area. And you could put on the side also talks about and then mention sustainability, mention your other topics there, like
Got it.
just 3 to 5 of them. Don't go crazy. And
Right.
you could write something about find out more on my website. And then on your website, just list
Okay.
everything.
Got it.
Because the one sheet's supposed to be an easy, quick, like I'm going to find somebody and this is going to be a good fit. But if
Yes.
they have more questions, if they're like, I wonder what this is, or I really am interested in this, then if you direct them to a one sheet area or your media kit, it could even be the media kit page that you have, right? If you direct them to that and it says, I don't just talk about, organization, but I also talk about sustainability and I talk about all of this.
Okay.
You could have 3 columns of just really very succinct keyword topics that you talk about.
Wonderful.
This is going to work for not only being able to help with your one sheet, you can then send people to that page on a consistent basis. And then you're going to also have that benefit of SEO. So,
right, for sure.
Yeah,
which
all
has
the way around.
Huge priority for me because I'm still growing, because of course I'm growing the business, but I'm growing the podcast. I'm growing the speaking engagements. This is when I wish there were, 5 more of me.
Oh, yeah. So how are you finding yourself on podcasts now? How are you getting onto them?
Honestly, people have just reached out to me and asked me to be a guest.
Okay.
So I've taken that, and again, they've been sort of topics around, women and business, basically. The ones that I'm working on right now are just highlighting local businesses, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did see the ECAT podcast. And I see that you're in Grounded in Maine. And then Liz on Biz, I listened to that one. That was amazing. You did a great job. So you have really great personality, really great, you're open, you're got a lot of information that you're handing out. Yes. So how come I can't find them on your website?
That's a very good question. They recently just came out. It's on the list to be added. Also a great suggestion. And again, I've sort of thought about that, but it does need to be done.
Also can be added to your one sheet, other podcast appearances, and then just list Grounded in Maine, Liz on Biz, the ECAT podcast.
Okay.
And I did find you on something called the Pro Organizer Bootcamp.
Yes, that woman is incredible. She's literally like a coach for professional organizers. So I had hired her for a short time and then she asked me to be on the podcast.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah.
That actually brings up another topic that I wanted to talk to you about as far as another opportunity that you could try if you're trying to get onto podcasts. If somebody is a podcaster that you already know, and maybe you've worked with them, right? Maybe it's just a client or whatever. Or maybe you've hired them. If you have a testimonial that you can voice text to them and just mention your business, a lot of times if podcasters are interested, a lot of podcasters do this now. They'll actually read out their reviews or their testimonials, or in this case, it would be your voice. It would be your voice saying, "Hi, this is Mary Ellen Lundy from Ann Eco," and then just keep talking. And I hired so-and-so, or I worked with so-and-so. And so it's kind of not only a testimonial, but a little promo swap for you as well. So a little tidbit there. It would be something that you would give a testimonial on. So if you wanted to give it to a podcaster, make it nice and easy for them to share it on their show, right? Something like that.
Okay.
Now, the easiest way to get on other people's podcasts is
Mhm.
typically you have a podcast and then you invite them onto your show, you have a little conversation, and then you say, hey, can I be on your show now? Type of thing. But
Yes.
since you don't have one, I also have some other suggestions for
Ooh,
you if you're open to them.
yes, please.
Okay. So you could do an Instagram live with them if
Okay.
you're interested. If you're not comfortable with Instagram Live, you could do YouTube Live or something like that. You can invite them on and you could just be like, I really love your vibe. I really love what you're talking about. And I would, while I don't have a podcast, I would love to have a conversation with you live about and whatever it is that they're talking about. And
Okay.
I'm going to, I'm going to put it up in my Facebook group or my Facebook page or Instagram Live or YouTube, wherever you are most comfortable, or TikTok even, wherever you're most comfortable doing any kind of a live event.
Okay.
And then after that conversation is over, then it could be a natural, like, I loved that conversation. Can we get together again? Is it possible? Do you have any space open for a guest? It's
Hmm.
just a nice little like segue, right?
Right.
But you've done the inviting first.
Yes.
And so it's like an easy, and people love to be invited to things.
For
Let's
sure.
face it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if that doesn't work for you, or if you're like, you know what, I don't know, I mean, like, I get it. Like, going Instagram Live is not something I've actually ever done. I've done Facebook Lives a lot. I
Right.
have done some YouTube Lives. For some reason, Instagram Live just scares the heck out of me. But I have done the other ones, so I don't know what the difference is.
Yes.
And I've been on TV, so what's the difference?
Yes.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think there's a difference, Kim, but it's regardless in any situation, even as an extrovert, it's hard to put yourself out there.
Yeah, yeah,
It's hard to get up in front of, like when we met in front of a group of women who don't know who you are and be like, listen, this is me. This is the business. I'm awesome. This is what we do. You know,
yeah, yeah.
it's a difficult thing. And plus you're navigating all of these, different nuances that I don't know anything about. I don't
Mhm.
know anything about the podcast world. Well, very
Yeah.
little. Yes, very little.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's a couple of other things about it's so easy nowadays to find that next step, right? Like, we've got Chat GPT in our pocket basically. And
Or
so you can ask, and like for instance, as you were talking, I was also thinking, like, if the guy at the local cable says no, you could just start your own YouTube TV show. You
right,
could,
right.
it's like, okay, fine. If you don't want me, then I'll do it. Granted, I think it would be amazing, and I don't think they will turn you down because they're always looking for shows.
Right, for sure. For sure.
But I think it could be a very easy access for you to be able to just, basically all you need is Zoom in this day and age to do
Right.
any kind of recording.
But it's just about practicing, right? In
Yeah.
front of different audiences and, figuring out how to work the room and how to figure people out and present your information properly, that it's understandable, engaging. It's really a lot of steps. But
Yeah.
again, you know what you're talking about. It just comes out and flows, right?
Yeah, it makes it so much easier when you know it and you feel it inside. And the other suggestion I would do, if you decide to go in that route, and
Yeah.
even for the TV show here, so either way, podcasts, YouTube, or TV show, all
Yeah.
of those,
Okay.
stick to one topic per episode.
Right.
And then,
Okay.
and that makes it so that one, you have multiple episodes that you can
Yes.
plan, right?
Yeah.
And two, you're really deep diving. You're not just keeping surface level. You're going
Okay.
like miles deep on this one topic.
Yes. Okay.
And just
Which is-
making sure that,
Which is so funny because when I was waiting for you to get on, I don't have an email list yet, but it's again the email campaign. It's another thing to do, Kim, but I was just doing like topics for each, bi-monthly email campaign. I was just thinking like, oh, I need topics. That's so funny.
yeah. And I'm going to mention that I struggled with this too. So as a single solo woman entrepreneur like yourself, I struggled with this for years as far as like what to talk about. Once I wrote down all of the topics that I wanted to talk about on the podcast,
Yes.
then it just naturally flipped over to this is what I'm going to talk about in my Facebook Lives. This is now what I'm going to put into my newsletters. This is now what I'm going to share on Instagram and all of that. So all of my content now comes from the podcast first.
Okay.
I think that's where we get confused. We have all these ideas. We're like, oh my gosh, I have so many ideas. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. And even yourself, like you have the different niches that we talked about.
Right.
But here, if you just choose one niche first and you
Yeah.
deep dive into that one niche, and then you choose the next one and deep dive. These could be like, you could have like 3 months worth of content for that one sheet.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here's the beautiful thing, right? Is after you've created a year's worth of content, just rinse and repeat and add just some new stuff. And then you
Right.
don't ever have to like do it ever again, except
Correct.
maybe you'll add in a something, whatever new social media is that they do.
Yeah, right. No, honestly, right. And that's so funny because I did that back when I started to teach that I thought I am going to kill it. I'm going to work I work 7 in the morning until 7 at night every single day. And I thought I'm going to kill it. And then it's going to be easy sailing the rest of my career. And then of course, curriculum changes and everything. And it didn't work out the way I thought when I was young and naive. But again, it's different here, because even when things change, the base is still the same. That organizing is still fun. It's still going to save you time and money and all of those things that come along with being organized. It's less stress in the house. You're not worrying about those things when you're lying in bed of like, oh crap, it's going to rain tomorrow. I got to get this off the deck. I got to do this and all of those things.
And you actually have the added benefit if you were to do a newsletter, which I highly recommend because you own the people's email addresses on your newsletter, whereas social media could disappear tomorrow. Everybody knows this, I think. And here's the other thing. You can really start it free. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a newsletter right now, but I mentioned earlier, I'm also going to look into starting a Substack because it's free.
Yep.
It's free and you could monetize it if you want. And Substack actually does the advertising of your newsletter to other people. So there's other opportunities there, right? But it's not going to replace my newsletter. It's going to be in addition to my newsletter.
Right.
Yeah.
And I struggled with the concept of the newsletter and fought back against it for all of these years because it's adding something else to people's lives. And although I don't do what they call digital decluttering, like I don't per se do that, but I don't want to add more stress into my clients' lives. So that's why I need to make sure that the content of the email campaign is favorable and, goes after the topics that they want as that little reminder of like, yes, Mary Ellen Lundy exists, that sort of thing. So it's been a hard pill to swallow, but I am ready to move forward with the email campaign. And again, just, like a bi-monthly thing, because I don't want to be stressed out about it. I don't want them stressed out about it. And what I always tell clients is I don't want people clicking unsubscribe to me, when you're like, oh, it's her again,
Yeah. So there is a mentality about the unsubscribes as far as like sometimes it's just not the season that they're in and they'll come back. And sometimes it's just sometimes people fall off there, if they find it too overwhelming. I totally get that. But I think you could really unsubstack because not only can you do a newsletter, but you can also do like little what they call like blog posts or little posts, things like that. Mm-hmm. I think you could do like a whole tips section. And that would be very entertaining for people. Like people would be very interested in that. If you gave me a 1-paragraph tip on how to be organized this week or this month or whatever, like, maybe you have like a tip for 1 tip a month, even like for the month of September, let's clear out your beach stuff or clear out your pool area, something, I don't know, something, know it. It's not my expertise, but definitely I think those tips would be super valuable to people. And it would just be 1 a month.
Very good point. Yeah, I like that. I like that tip section. I think that's a good idea. And again, it's wild because you just never know what people, like what nugget people are going to grasp onto. Thank you. I wrote that part down too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. All right. Did I help you at all with your one sheet? Is there anything else we can explore before we wrap up today?
No, I feel really good. I feel like a little motor is running inside of me now, Kim, and I'm ready to take on the podcast world.
Yay. I love that. I absolutely love that. So great. So why don't we'll wrap up. We'll let you tell the folks where they can find you a little bit more about yourself in your own words. So let me know.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Mary Ellen Lundy with an eco-organized approach, which is officially trademarked now. Very exciting. We are an organizing business and recycling business that serves both homes and businesses within 30 minutes of Stoughton, Massachusetts. And so many wonderful businesses and recycling your unwanted items directly back into the community. So when we clean out your linen closet, those towels and unwanted bed sheets that you no longer want go directly to a local animal shelter. And, kitchen cleanouts, we are taking those items and giving them directly to group homes, family shelters, other shelters, and finding super creative uses for silverware going to people learning to weld in school, and so many wonderful repurposes. And it really drives you and gets you so excited. And there's no longer guilt and shame around how much money you spent on items that were in your home because they're being immediately recycled in your hyper local community, whether the item is brand new or seemingly recyclable for the trash or recycle. And really the goal is to just reduce waste in landfills and gift your unwanted items to people in the community. So it really is a wonderful business all around, and it's super exciting to be a part of it.
Yay. I love that. I absolutely love that. And as a mother of a welder, I'm going to ask you more about that off camera. Thank you so much for being on today. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Podcasting for Spiritual Women. If you would like more strategy and tips and some tricks on how to make your podcast better, I recommend that you join my newsletter list. You can find that at kpcreativemedia.com/newsletter. Until next time.